Our audio, okay. Hello and welcome to the December 2025 regular board meeting of the Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh. For those who need ASL interpretation, please pin the names shown on the screen in order to have interpretation available. Our first order of business is roll call. I just have the record reflect that Council President Lavelle, Director Connolly, and myself are here in person. Director Williamson and Representative Powell are traveling and unable to join us today. That takes us into approval of our November 13th, 2025 URA regular board meeting minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, then all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? The minutes are approved. Would also note for the public that the URA board met in executive session, our normal standing one today, December 11th, prior to the board meeting. Public comment, Talia is joining us there. Okay. There you go.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Talia O'Brien, Government Affairs Analyst here at the URA. Members of the public are welcome to provide comments on agenda items during URA Board of Directors meetings. Comments can be made in person, virtually via Zoom, or in writing. Registration is required for both in-person and virtual comments, with registration opening on 2 p.m. on the Tuesday prior to the board meeting and closing at 1 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Written comments submitted before 1 p.m. on the day of the meeting, along with comments made during the meeting, will be included in the public minutes and become part of the meeting record. No written comments were received or registered speakers were received this month. At this point, if there's anyone in the audience wishing to provide public comment, you are able to do so now. Seeing none, that concludes our public comment period. Thank you.
Thank you, Talia. That takes us into announcements, of which we have a few today. The first is to note for the public that the January 2026 URA regular board meeting and annual board meeting have been rescheduled. They are typically, as folks know, on the second Thursday of the month, but next month it will be on January 15th at 2 p.m. Next announcement is the end of year office closure. I will turn it over to our executive director.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Sushila Nimani Stanger, and quite simply, this item is just to notify the public that the URA offices will be closed from December 29th to January 2nd. We will reopen on the 5th of January. We are available via email and emergency phone listed on our email. So if anything arises, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Our next announcement is a bittersweet one for the retirement of Richard Snipe, and I will turn it over to our Chief Housing Officer, Kiana Wassler.
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kiana Wassler, Chief Housing Officer of the URA, and I'd like to take a bittersweet moment to recognize Richard Snipe, who is retiring after many years of service to the URA at the end of this month. Rich has been incredibly special to our organization and a valuable leader in Pittsburgh's housing ecosystem. He has been with the URA and serving the city of Pittsburgh for 35 years, most recently serving as the executive director of the URA's affiliate, the Pittsburgh Housing Development Corporation. Throughout his tenure, he has been a critical partner in rehabilitating homes into high-quality housing, eliminating blight, and creating affordable home ownership and wealth building opportunities throughout the communities of Pittsburgh. He has been a strong advocate for closing the home ownership gap for Black families and creating positive change and stability in neighborhoods, especially ones that have been underserved. This work has ultimately created a stronger city. To highlight some of Rich's accomplishments, in 2018, he received the Public Service Honoree Award from the Bloomfield Garfield Corporation for helping hundreds of families become new homeowners. Rich was honored by the Black Excellence in Real Estate with the Legacy Award in 2023. Just recently, he received the Economic Justice Award from the URA, which his fellow staff members nominated him for, stating that he was nominated because of his focus on advocating for homeownership opportunities in neighborhoods that have been historically disinvested in. Rich serves on the City of Pittsburgh's Historic Review Commission and also serves as the Vice Chairman of the Allegheny County Board of Property Assessment Appeal and Review. And as if he could get any cooler or any busier, he also has his own holiday. December 5th is Richard Snipe Day in the city of Pittsburgh. It's hard to imagine the URA and PHDC without you, Rich. We will miss your leadership, passion, expertise, but we know that the values that you've instilled in the URA team will carry on for generations. On behalf of the URA leadership team and staff, we'd like to express our deepest gratitude for your dedication over the years. Thank you, Rich, for your service, and please enjoy this next chapter and your well-deserved retirement. Congratulations.
Were you going to say anything, Rich? Do you want to say anything? 35 years, we ought to at least give you the chance to.
First and foremost, thank you for the honor and the acknowledgement. You guys about to make me cry. When I came here, I was 34 years old. I didn't have the stomach. I had a head full of black hair. And now, another life later, it's time to go home. So I thank all of you for allowing me to serve the city for this long. Hopefully I made a small impact, but I have to truthfully tell you, it wasn't me. It was the work of a lot of other people, including yourselves, who've made a difference. Anyone who thinks that they do things by themselves are only fooling themselves. Accomplishment is only made when you have people who will collaborate with you. And over the years, I've had a lot of people who believed in me, gave me an opportunity to do things, and together, we made a difference. The encouragement that I will leave with you is this: there's a lot more work that has to be done. And sometimes you have to step outside of your comfort zone in order to get it done. Someone once said, no risk, no gain. Be willing to take risk, and you'll get big gains. The people of Pittsburgh will no doubt appreciate what you're doing. And sometimes you have to say no, but don't be afraid to say no. But when you tell someone no, tell them the reason why you're telling them no, and give them hope for something better. Again, thank you for the opportunity to have been able to serve the city of Pittsburgh and the URA for 35 years. And as I leave you with this one final thought, I'm not leaving Pittsburgh. I'll still be in Pittsburgh. And if you need a second thought or something, everyone knows my phone number, 412-654-RICH.
Before we move on, Rich, I just wanted to say thank you for myself personally. You said a lot of folks believed in you. I've seen you do that to colleagues countless times. And me being one of them 15 years ago as an intern, taking the time to drive me around, show me neighborhoods of the city and pour into me a lot of knowledge, that you had and were willing to share. And not everyone's willing to do that. And you are. I had a lot more hair then and a lot less gray in my beard. I'm forever thankful to you for doing that. I know when we talked earlier this year and you said that this was the year you were going to retire, a lot of us made jokes because you've been saying that almost as long as I've known you. But your wife finally talked some sense into you, and I'm so happy for you and for your family. I know you'll stay busy, but that you'll be able to spend more time with them, and really be able to catch up on some time that they've been generous in sharing you with us. So thank you so much. I don't know if other board members have any comments they want to make.
Sure. Thank you, Rich. In your comments, you said you hope you've made a small impact. You have made a gigantic impact on this city through the work that you've done. I can attest firsthand that there are people all across this city who would not be homeowners if not for your work. I've known you a long time, and as long as I've known you, you've always put an effort into bringing forth a quality product that someone that normally would not be able to qualify or afford it, still be able to afford it and get into that home. And I've seen your work firsthand, and I can attest to it. You have made a gigantic impact on this city. So I want to thank you for everything. Every year when you would, to Cal's point, when you would talk about retiring, I would beg you not to. And even now, I've already said to you, I will be calling you and consulting you and asking for your advice as things move forward. So I want to thank you. And there are hundreds of people throughout this city who also owe a debt of great to you. So thank you.
I'll just add, thank you for your service. And just before the meeting, we were talking and you were recounting stories of folks that you thought were leaders in this space. And you should know that I think as someone who has heard your name for many years, as someone who's done that work and has made such an impact, you should know that you're counted among many of those folks that you were just telling us about. So thank you for, what is usually somewhat thankless, hard work and job, and the city is much better for your service. So thank you.
Just want to say thank you, Rich, and congratulations to you and your family.
Fittingly, that'll move us into the housing portion of our agenda today. We have one item for housing, and that is the Larmer rental gap for Mayflower Meadows. And Brooke Gwynn is joining us for this.
Good afternoon. My name is Brooke Gwynn. I'm a housing lending analyst at the URA. This afternoon, I'm here before the board to request authorization to enter into a rental gap program loan agreement with Mayflower Meadows, LLC, or a related entity in an amount of up to $555,000 for the new construction of 129, 131, 133, and 135 Mayflower Street in the Larimer neighborhood, 12th Ward, and authorization to waive the RGP guidelines requiring 10% of units in new construction projects to be accessible to individuals with mobility disabilities for the new construction of 129, 131, 133, and 135 Mayflower Street. The developer, WNT Daniels Development Group, is requesting a $555,000 rental gap program loan to fund Mayflower Meadows, the new construction of 8 affordable housing units in Larimer, all of which will be 3-bedroom units. 3 of the units will be rented to households at or below 30% of area median income, or AMI, and 5 will be affordable at or below 50% of AMI. All units will be available to Housing Choice Voucher holders. The property is currently vacant land, and the borrower has a sales agreement in place. The location is very close to a wide range of local and national stores and several bus lines, including the East Liberty Busway Station, offering a variety of nearby amenities for future tenants. While we are requesting a waiver to the guidelines which outlines accessibility requirements for new construction, all units in the project will include exterior doors and passageways at least 36 inches wide, interior doors at least 32 inches wide, large open kitchen layout for easy turning, continuous surface throughout except the bathroom, barrier-free or low height and beveled thresholds, locking in bathrooms for ease of grab bar installation in the future, and electrical outlets, light switches, and thermostats positioned between 15 to 48 inches above the floor. Additionally, 3 of the floor units will be marketed to individuals with different accessibility needs, including 1 unit will feature under-sink cabinets in the kitchen and bathroom, suitable for individuals with limited mobility, as well as pre-installed voice-controlled thermostats. Another unit will be targeted to individuals with limited vision. Features will include, but are not limited to, high contrast threshold changes and pre-installed voice-controlled thermostats. The 3rd unit's features will include, but are not limited to, strobe light fire alarms in all bedrooms, hallways, and common areas. The development team sought insight from Fair Housing Partnership of Pittsburgh to expand the accessible features in all of the units and to inform the specialty tailored units as well. Mayflower Meadows is the third multi-unit affordable housing development by W&T Daniels Development Group, which is owned by Tina Daniels, who is also the sole proprietor of Concrete Rose Construction, the general contractor. Recent projects include Benedict Dwellings and Anderson Estates, the latter of which is currently under construction. The development team has also applied for a $240,000 loan from the East End Housing Development Program, which is administered by the URA and will be presented to the East Liberty TRID Revitalization Authority next week on the 17th. Other financing includes a $1.2 million grant from the Federal Home Loan Bank Affordable Housing Program, an $800,000 loan from First National Bank, $300,000 from Neighborhood Allies, a deferred developer fee of $45,570, and $16,000 in developer equity. The total development cost is $3,156,570. Construction is expected to be completed by March of 2027. And with that, I'd like to introduce Tina Daniels.
Good afternoon. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present my project. I wanted to just discuss a little bit about Mayflower Meadows. The area that it's going to be in is right down in the Larmer area, close to East Liberty. It's surrounded by Target, the new shopping center that's going up. And when I identified these lots, I just thought it would be a great spot to put a new development to allow affordable housing in this area that's getting this great resurgence of development going on, and still make room for local residents right now. And we also plan to market to, I forget the name of the apartment. Was it Penn Plaza? We were going to market to Penn Plaza residents that were affected by that area also.
Thank you, Brooke. Thank you, Tina. Questions, comments from board members? I'll just say, I think we said this the last time you were here, Tina, we've made investments in your business and in, projects where you've been the general contractor. Continuing to see your business ventures grow is really exciting, and in projects that are so rooted in community, I think is a testament to you, your commitment to the work and to these neighborhoods and to the residents that call those communities home. So thank you for that, for being so thoughtful, even down to the design of the buildings themselves that'll fit really well with the aesthetic, in the neighborhood. So really appreciate that.
Yeah.
If there's no other comments from board members, entertain a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
With a motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
That'll move us into approval of the 2026 URA operating budget. And this, I'll turn it over to our once a year presentation from our Chief Financial Officer, Damara Carter.
Thank you, Chairman. For those I have not had the opportunity to greet, I am Damara Carter, Chief Financial Officer for the URA. Thank you for the opportunity to present the proposed 2026 operating budget. The operating budget for 2026 totals $11,931,083.79. Over the past several months, our team has conducted a comprehensive assessment of our revenue streams, operating costs, and key organizational risks. The budget before you reflecting the financial reality of the market environment we are navigating today, as well as the fiscal discipline required to support our mission. Both revenue and expenses are projected to decrease by nearly $1 million compared to last year. This is resulting of a deliberate and measured evaluation of program activity, funding expectation, operational requirements. While reduction levels bring constraints, they are also underscore our commitment to sound resource management. Our decision balanced the need for operational stability with the responsibility to steward public resource effectively. I welcome any questions or feedback. Thank you.
Thank you, Damara. First of all, I just want to add that, I really appreciate Damara's leadership in all budgetary items for the URA, but particularly every year when she navigates the difficult task of matching revenues and expenses. The proposed operating budget this year, like many years, prioritizes the URA's core mission and our ability to effectively deliver on that mission. This year's budget was particularly difficult. We had to reduce our budget by 10% from last year. Over the past 15 months, the URA leadership team and the URA board has met to prepare the agency for our post-ARPA reality and the post-ARPA environment and address our long-term funding challenges stemming from our lack of financial sustainability. In order to achieve a 10% reduction, we conducted a deep and comprehensive evaluation of all URA programs, affiliates, and operations. As a result, we unfortunately had to discontinue certain business lines and programs, contracted out some services, and then transitioned some responsibilities to other public and nonprofit partners. In several cases, programs and URA affiliates were temporarily expanded during the COVID-19 pandemic timeframe with the infusion of one-time ARPA funding. Those expanded activities, however, exceeded what we could support on an ongoing basis. This is not the situation we would have hoped for, but it's the reality that we knew we had to navigate responsibly. I think it's really important to underscore that unlike many public authorities, the URA does not have dedicated local, state, and federal funds for operating or personnel expenses. And while we are permitted in limited circumstances and instances to apply administrative fees from certain state and federal programs, these revenues are not sufficient to sustain our core staffing levels. So with that, I thank Damara. I thank the entire URA team for the program evaluations that you've undertaken for the past 15 months.
Thank you both. Questions, comments from board members? I just want to echo the thanks to Chief Carter for your work on this and the rest of the folks in the departments who helped with it. As Director Namani Stenger said, we know last year and into putting this budget together, it was incredibly difficult, forced with, some difficult decisions, but you all have, approached the work incredibly thoughtfully. And so really appreciative, of that and your efforts to deliver us a responsible and balanced budget. There's no other comments or discussion. Entertain a motion to approve.
We'll move.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? We have a budget. That takes us into our consent agenda. We'll let the roll through on the slides for the public. If there's no discussion, questions on the consent agenda, I'll entertain a motion to approve in its entirety.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? We've approved the consent agenda. Before I call for a motion to adjourn, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to the staff, to our fellow board members. This will be my last board meeting as a board member and as the chair of the board. I can't thank Mayor Gainey. I can't thank the board. I can't thank staff enough for the trust that you've placed in me over the last 4 years. It is incredibly humbling, to say the least. As Rich said earlier, none of this work gets accomplished if it's not for the efforts of everyone. And you've all, made the time here incredibly rewarding. and, you know, fulfilling for that matter. And I truly thank you for that. We've tackled a lot, I think, the last 4 years. You know, when I look at what's been accomplished from the deployment of the ARPA funds to the housing bond to unprecedented amounts of LIHTC awards, et cetera, that is undoubtedly a credit to the people of this organization and your commitment to the growth of the city and the way in which we invest in our communities. And I've always admired the work of the URA even before I moved to Pittsburgh. It truthfully played a role in my decision to decide to move to Pittsburgh. And it's, you know, been an incredibly rewarding experience to have so many different roles in the organization over the years. Again, I'm thankful to those of you who raised your hand to step into leadership roles or come back to the organization. I'm thankful to those of you who stepped into leadership roles and different ways within the organization over this time. And I'm just thinking of all of the people who have been here for so many years that were willing to move into leadership roles that maybe they hadn't been asked to before, or you know, decided that it was the time for them to do that, and couldn't be more thankful for that. And for the staff that have either stayed or decided to come along this ride with us, again, I'm a tremendous debt of gratitude to all of you for that. I'm excited to see, you know, what happens going forward with the URA, the work that you continue to drive forward as we think about the investment in our communities, our neighborhood, the reimagining of downtown. And you will always have a fan in me. So with that, thank you so much.
If that's okay, I would like to say a few things. I mean, I prepared remarks because it's just really hard to know how to thank you. And but on behalf of the URA staff, and I know some of my colleagues want to jump in as well. Happy to. I just want to thank you and recognize your work. And you know, you've served in this leadership position since 2022, providing dedicated service to board of directors, URA leadership team, our staff, and the residents and neighborhoods in the city of Pittsburgh. Throughout your tenure, you've brought an unwavering sense of commitment, thoughtful guidance, and genuine care for our organization's success. Your insight and ingenuity consistently helped us respond to Pittsburgh's evolving needs. And it was just an extraordinary opportunity for our organization to have a chair whose career spanned so much depth in economic development and housing, both here at the URA and at the city of Pittsburgh and the mayor's office. Kyle's, Chair Chinchilopoulos' expertise, knowledge, community relationships, and knack for problem solving provided an invaluable level of leadership. You guided us through significant organizational changes, a mayoral transition, executive leadership, and structural changes, and major initiatives such as the Downtown Revitalization Plan and the city's first housing bond issuance to address the affordable housing crisis. The list just keeps going on, and I started, and it was just impossible. But under your leadership, we strengthened our organizational culture and navigated the shifting economic landscape over the years following the global pandemic with clarity and purpose. So thank you for guiding us through difficult conversations and decisions and always grounding us in our mission and values and the long-term benefit of the communities we support. We haven't always agreed, but you have always been fair. And as the saying goes, you are able to disagree without being disagreeable. With Kyle's departure, this will be an important transition for our organization. And while we will miss your leadership, our work to advance inclusive growth in Pittsburgh will continue. We are moving forward on a foundation strengthened by your leadership, and we're grateful for your time. On behalf of our entire leadership team and staff, thank you, Chairman Chinchilopoulos, for everything you have done for the URA. Are there any board members want to add? Thank you.
Well, first, just thank you for your service, and thanks to you and to Mayor Gainey for actually inviting me to serve on the board of an organization that has meant so much to me personally and professionally, and for giving me the opportunity to learn from you in this role. I've learned a lot from your leadership style. It's not a heavy-handed one. I think we've all come to appreciate that you approach this work with patience and understanding and meeting people where they are and making space to have conversation and to move forward as a collective. And I've had the opportunity to work with you in this role as chair, as a CDC director, as a partner in a regional economic development agency, and now at the county. And so got to see you exhibit that in many different ways. We would not be here as a city and a region without your work in this role as chair. There were many 8 a.m. meetings related to downtown that got us to this unprecedented investment in downtown, which we're also grateful for. And you were a true leader on the work on housing that's become a model for us at the county, for sure. And I think regionally. So just thank you for what you've done. Thank you for your service. We all know how hard you work. I'm excited to see what your next chapter is. I have a meeting with you tomorrow because you're still my board chair at my organization, which I'm so grateful for. But thank you.
Yeah, I'm not sure what there to add to those two set of comments. What I will simply say is I've worked with you when you were a staffer here, and then you coming back to be the board chair. And it's been a pleasure to see your growth, actually. And it's been a pleasure to serve alongside you. And I'm thankful for your leadership. And I'm also thankful having been able to work with you within the mayor's office. So I'm thinking as a council person now as well. What I've most appreciated the most is your thoughtfulness. The fact that, as the director said, you've been willing to not necessarily agree walking into a room, but be willing to consider all sides and then chart a path forward. So you're not just sitting on your hands, but you're thinking it through and then you're figuring out how to move us collectively forward, both here at the URA, but us as a city as a whole. And so that's what I've grown to appreciate most about you. Having gotten to know you over the years, I know although you're leaving the URA, you won't be too far because you care too much about this work. And we need people like you to stick around. So I look forward to working with you in whatever fashion we can moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Just want to open it up to my colleagues. And if anyone would like to add anything, please do.
Sorry.
For the record. Hi, Cal. No, just personally, I mean, Kyle, you and I have, I just want to thank you for your service, your collaboration, your guidance. I mean, I was reflecting, you and I have been sort of crossing paths in this business for a long time. Like, I was thinking, actually, just sitting here now, I remember sitting at Hamburg Hall, I think, we first met a long time ago, EQ or HQ2, which, we sat next to each other at 3 a.m. working on things. And of course, the work here at the URA, both and across multiple mayors. And even at the conference. So, I just, personally, I have to say I'm going to miss the weekly and the day-to-day interaction. Selfishly, I've appreciated everything that support you provided to me personally and professionally, certainly to this organization, to all of my colleagues. And, really wish you well. I to the councilman's point, I sincerely hope that we continue to have interaction and work together in the future, which based on the previous 20 years, I will assume that will be the case because we continue to work together. So anyway, just personally thank you and just wish you all the best and everything that you're doing. So thank you. And sorry for standing. It's sort of awkward.
I'll just take a quick moment to say thank you as well. You're part of the reason why I boomerang back to the URA. Your trust in me actually is part of that reason. And so just having the gentle guidance from you has been significant for me in my growth here. And I remember when I used to come and when I was in commercial lending and we worked here together a long time ago, I'd come down and bug you in housing and just try to learn what you were doing. And I appreciate the time you took with me then. And so I just want to, from the Housing Department, just say thank you so much to you. Thank you to the Gainey administration for believing in us with the Affordable Housing Bond. And we're going to continue to make you proud as we get all of these projects closed in the coming year. Thank you.
I guess I'll speak once a year, but you give me twice today. I'm really thankful for you. I'm thank you for your leadership. I thank you for trusting me. When I became the CFO, your support meant the world to me. So I thank you and I wish you nothing but the best. And I know you'll succeed in whatever you do. So I thank you.
Kyle, you are the definition of a true public servant. You read city code on the weekends. You approach everything with humility and graciousness and care about the impact and never about yourself. The city is better because of you, and all of us are better for working alongside you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
I'm going to call for adjournment before I have to be CEO anymore. Thank you all for the kind words. If not overstatements, appreciate it truly. And like I said, I'm excited to cheer you on from afar. With that, though, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
I'll second.
Second. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you all.